back to another edition of Quinte Connection. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Well, in the midst of phase 2 right now for Hastings and Prince Edward counties, we are also starting to think about summer plans. And joining us on this episode, the new owners of the Mustang Drive-In in Prince Edward County, Jill Raycroft, our friend, providing us an update about what they have in store in spite of waterfront and different events. But also right now, though, outside of City Hall in downtown Belleville is Anne Munro, the Development and Tourism Coordinator with the City of Belleville, talking to us now because the pop-up shops are finally in West Zwicks Park. Anne, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
Second year for the city with this pilot project, but a new project for you that you got on the helm at in fall. Could you talk to us about how you were introduced to this?
Sure. I took over in this position in the fall, and my predecessor, Alicia Purchase, had seen the pop-ups through the first year of this is a 2-year pilot project. So she saw them through the first year, and I took over in the fall, this past fall, to help see them through the second year.
A real bright spot, though, in the Bay of Quinte and for the City of Belleville as we continue to deal with the pandemic. Can you walk us through what to expect? Because there's beverages, Indian food, and I believe kayak rentals, right?
Yeah, so we have 9 vendors and we're super excited about them. Essentially this year we took the philosophy that we would kind of develop a list of everyone that we would like to see down at West Zwicks. What would make the perfect pop-up village? And we sort of started from that basis, and we thought we want food trucks for sure. We want some artisans. We want some sort of recreational providers. So ideally somebody renting kayaks and canoes and paddle boards. And we sort of then started to sort of actively approach vendors we'd like to see in the location. And it worked out so well. I mean, despite all of the uncertainty of COVID, we found 9 vendors who are joining us, and we couldn't be happier. It's been fantastic. I mean, we've just launched, so this is early days for the project, but things are fantastic. It's very exciting down there, and it's going to be a fantastic summer. Kind of the perfect summer activity. It's a beautiful waterfront location. It's a perfect environment to be able to socially distance, and yeah, it's a wonderful place to be.
And could you walk us through the different vendors that you have settled on when it comes to going down to West Zwicks Park and enjoying a walk and a couple things as well?
Absolutely. So first of all, I think we have sort of our sort of cornerstone vendor, and that is Venture Outfitters. Mark Schwartz, the owner of Venture Outfitters, came down to the Quinte region this spring for the Quinte Sportsman Show, which happened sort of just as COVID was sort of, entering all of our minds. But he had heard about the Bay of Quinte. He wanted to come down and check us out. So he was there at the show. So it was a little bit of an uncertain show for him, but what it meant is that we got to chat. He spent the weekend sort of chatting with a bunch of residents and sort of local business owners, and he sort of became, I think, more convinced that he wanted to spend some time here. And so he came aboard as a vendor. He's renting kayaks, paddle boards, canoes, bicycles, which will be fantastic. So he's the guy that's going to get Belleville residents and visitors out on the water. And for some of them, it's kind of the only chance they've had to get out on the water. If you don't own your own sailboat or you don't own your own power boat, you look at this beautiful Bay of Quinte, but you don't necessarily get a chance to get out on the water and look back on Belleville and see the way it looks sort of to the people who settled here, a couple hundred years ago. So that's going to be very exciting. And then we have some food vendors. We have Gator Fries. We have brick oven pizza back from last year. We have Alpha Dog serving some amazing sort of gourmet sausages. We have Sugar Mamas who will be there offering dessert, so brownies, cheesecake, I think cupcakes. We have Golden Scoop back from last year serving Reed's Dairy ice cream. We have Royal Haveli who's coming to join us, and they have a menu set at their restaurant at Bell Boulevard, but this is an opportunity for them to sort of explore some new territory. Street food's an art in India, and so they have They have developed some traditional Indian street food dishes that they're going to be serving on site, which is going to be amazing. Then we have a chalk paint person who will be giving some classes, an artisan who does her own work and also teaches other people how to use chalk paint, which is a very exciting medium. I urge people to check it out online. And then we have an apparel provider. She's got recreational clothing, she's got some Belleville specific clothing, and she's got some Belle Vegas clothing. So she'll be there as well.
Is there a general set of hours that everyone will be open around or working towards?
Absolutely. So that was something we really wanted to make it to be as simple as possible for the public to know. If you come down to Zwicks at any time, Monday to like 7 days a week, I guess Monday to Sunday, every day of the week from 11 to 7, all of the vendors will be open.
Excellent. Where can we go to get more information and updates as the summer progresses and the pop-up shops will be there until September 7th?
That's right. So if you go to our Facebook page, it's Pop-Ups on the Bay. If you Google Pop-Ups on the Bay, you'll see our Facebook page. We're also, we've got a new Instagram page. So if you want to go on Instagram and subscribe there, we will be having a lot of great photos and updates. I think the Quinte Tourism will also be helping us out. We hope to do maybe a Facebook Live event or something down there, which will be great. But probably our Facebook page is probably the easiest place for most people to get the latest information.
Perfect. Now, as we work towards the second season of this, what are some of the feedback you've been receiving from residents and community members as it's in a brand new location under some very darker circumstances, so a real bright spot for the City of Belleville?
Absolutely. It's been such an interesting year. First of all, we thought the big challenge this year was going to be flooding. Boy, were we wrong. So we went through all of these scenarios. Should we be, at Jane Forrester Park? Should we be at, Myers Pier? So we decided, where we always really wanted to be was West Zwicks. But of course, there are so many things that were already happening at West Zwicks. And, we were wondering, would we be taking up too much space? Would we take away from the Waterfront Festival and Canada Day? We worked through all of those. We worked through potential flooding problems. And then, of course, COVID came. And so that, of course, has completely changed the landscape. So we had imagined this really cozy little pot of vendors, sort of tightly packed with lots of tightly packed picnic tables in the middle. And of course, all that has changed. So now we redid our site plan so that we could spread the vendors out so that there's lots of room for people to visit and yet socially distance. But in terms of all the things that have happened to events this summer, it's just so exciting that this is the event that is still happening. And it is a perfect place to come down, get some fresh air, be outside. You have oodles of room to visit the vendors and then grab a treat and then go sit on the hill at West Zwicks Park, anywhere. It's a lovely large park, and this is the year to come down and explore.
Once again, that's Anne Munro, the Development and Tourism Coordinator with the City of Belleville. Looking forward to a bright spot in our summer. West Zwicks Park is the place you have to go. Anne, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing everybody down at West Zwicks.